Hey everybody, it's Aaliyah back with a video. The day I'm filming this is January 23rd, 2024, and today is the day that the Oscar nominations came out for the films we saw in 2023. So I thought it would be a great day to go over them, give my thoughts and opinions. I've seen most of all of these movies that are nominated today, and lots of great nominations. Some I'm a little bit sketchy about, but I figure let's dive right into it. So I guess we will start with the writing nominations for original and adapted screenplay. There's already some controversy with these categories. Mainly, I've seen the Academy decided, the writers' wing of the Academy decided to put the Barbie script from Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach in adapted screenplay rather than original screenplay. Obviously, no one Greta were able to work off Barbie, but that was really all they had was it being about a Barbie doll. So some people are like, well, that's not really adapted screenplay. They did everything else themselves. And that's kind of how I feel. They've been getting original screenplay nominations everywhere else, but the Academy is what I believe is their first adapted screenplay nomination. So let me just read them off. So for adapted screenplay, we have American Fiction, which is written for the screen by Cord Jefferson, Barbie by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, Oppenheimer by Christopher Nolan, Poor Things, Tony McNamara, and The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer. All excellent films. Original screenplay, we have Anatomy of a Fall, Justin Triet and Arthur Harari. The Holdovers, David Hemmingson. Maestro, Bradley Cooper and Josh Singer. May December, Sammy Birch, and the story by Sammy Birch and Alex Mechanic. And Past Lives, Celine Song. All excellent there. All also great. I really was happy when Celine Song's name got announced because I really hope she wins, but some people were just unsure how many nominations Past Lives would get, and that was one of the ones they were able to score for original screenplay. And honestly, all 10 of those films that I just listed off are all up there and like some of my favorite films of this year, other than maybe Maestro, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But all of them are so excellent. I'll give my predictions as well for who I think will win each category, but I think it's really tough, especially in screenplay this year. So for original screenplay, I would want Past Lives to win, but I feel like it probably will go to Anatomy of a Fall, Justin Triet and Arthur Harari, but we'll see. So I think it's going to be between Anatomy of a Fall and Past Lives would be my opinions. Adapted screenplay, another toss-up here. For a while, I was thinking it would be Oppenheimer, like Christopher Nolan would certainly get it, but now I'm a little bit leaning on Cord Jefferson maybe getting it for American Fiction. He won the Critics' Choice a couple days ago. They still have some other awards to happen, so we'll see what happens, like maybe from Writers Guild and things like that. But I think the top ones for me would probably be Oppenheimer, Barbie, and American Fiction adapted screenplay. And if I had to pick one, I probably would say, I'm trying to think about the Academy and who's voting, I probably would say Oppenheimer potentially, or American Fiction. Visual effects. So the creator is the nominee. I didn't really love that movie, but I'm not really a big sci-fi person anyway. Good visual effects though, so I understand the nomination. Godzilla Minus One, which to me is like the best Godzilla movie I've seen, and I've seen so many of them so far, and it's one you don't really expect to punch about, but it's about visual effects. It certainly needs to be nominated. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then Napoleon. All great there. The winner there, I don't really know visual effects awards enough to say. I probably would say maybe Godzilla because there's like a Godzilla coming out of the ocean, but who knows. Great there. Sound, the creator again, another nomination for them. Maestro, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. For me here, I just saw The Zone of Interest last week, and if you don't know what the story about The Zone of Interest is, it's a story about a Nazi commander he's trying to build like a dream life for his family, but the thing that kind of is the pull of the film is in their back garden, the wall that separates their back garden from the next area over the wall is Auschwitz, and the Nazi commander and the father, whatever, is the one running the camp, and he's a true man, one of the ones you can look up and read about. Horrible person, but with the sound element of it, you don't see anything that's happening, but you hear and you feel it as the movie's going on and as the characters are going about their normal lives, like nothing's happening over the wall. It's an excellent film. And I can see why sound would be on my there. So I probably would say sound might win that one, but I also think Oppenheimer, potentially just because of, I saw Oppenheimer in the cinema 5 times, and the sound was something that was, you know, especially when you see it in cinema, it's really, really great. It hits you really well. When I started, I owned the film, so I remember I was putting on a little part of it in my home, and I was listening to it, and I have a nice speaker and everything like that, but I was like, man, this sound, I want the sound to hit me how it did, like, when I saw it in the cinema, but that sound is excellent, too, so Zone of Interest, I think I'd say, but Oppenheimer might also come up as well. Live action short film, so these are some, I haven't seen any of these, but we'll go over them anyway, why not? The After, Invincible, Night of Fortune, Red, White, and Blue, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. I've heard about that last one, that's from Wes Anderson and also Stephen Rails. But these other ones, I think I've heard of some of them, but I haven't seen any of them. We'll see if I get a chance to watch some of them before the Oscars, which are March 10th, so just, 6 weeks away. Animated short film, haven't seen any of these either, but I've heard of several of these. Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform, Pachi Dream, I might have said that really wrong. War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. Oh, that looks interesting. So I haven't seen those, but like I said, I've heard of several of those, so I can't pick a winner there. Production design, before I even go any further, I think Barbie's going to win this one, but who knows? We'll see. The nominees here are Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I just saw Poor Things again the other day. I also just saw Colors of the Flower Moon again the other day. And thinking about kind of the sets going on there, especially Poor Things. I know that was like, most of it was on stages, and things like that. Was really, the way they kind of created the cities they were going to was awesome. But I really do think Barbie's gonna get this one, just because, I'm hopefully you've seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, please go see the movie, just because they built a whole Barbie world. Also, they had to build the real world as well, but the Barbie sets were just outstanding, out of this world, I think. Music section, original song and original score. So for original song, The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot, Diane Warren. I didn't know she wrote that, so that's cool. I haven't seen that movie. I've heard really good things about it. I know Eva Longoria produced it. I'm Just Ken from Barbie. Not surprised it got a nomination. It just won the Critics' Choice Award, and if you've seen Ryan Gosling reacting to the win, it was kind of like, what's going on? But I'm not surprised that it got a nomination at all. It Never Went Away from American Symphony. I need to see that documentary. I believe it is, and John Baptiste is turning into one of my favorites very quickly. Wahazihi, again, I might pronounce that wrong. It's from Killers of the Flower Moon. Wahazihi, a song for my people. Good. What Was I Made For? Billie Eilish and Phineas O'Connell. That would be, for me, the collaborators I think are going to end up winning the award. I think What Was I Made For has just struck a chord with so many people over this past several months. We've had Barbie out and since the song's been out. So I really think that they're going to probably take home another Oscar for them. And they certainly deserve it. Next, we have original score. American Fiction, Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I've seen a lot of people, or a couple people I should say, online saying, how was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse not nominated for score? It was getting so many nominations, so I was expecting to see it too, but John Williams, the legend of how many, I think he's had like over 90 Oscar nominations, and he's only won like 3 or 4, but the great John Williams slots himself into original score. I didn't even realize he did the Indiana Jones score, but it kind of makes sense because Steven Spielberg did all of Indiana Jones all those years ago, and now John Williams was back for this movie. He's excellent. But I think in this category, I think Ludwig Göransson is going to end up winning for Oppenheimer. Just Ludwig is, again, for me, he's kind of turning into one of those, in the new generation of composers, he's quickly kind of climbing the charts, and he's just outstanding, and that Oppenheimer score is ridiculous. I saw a couple weeks ago at UCLA's campus, they did a screening of Oppenheimer with a live orchestra, and it was actually the orchestra who performed on the score, and Ludwig was there, and Killian and Christopher, and it just seemed like, I saw some videos from it, and it just seemed like out of this world. I wish I lived around there to have gone, because that's just awesome. Another thing I like about the Oppenheimer score as well, it's the base of it is pretty much all violins, and I played violin for many years when I was young, so it's just like really, really great, and I really like listening to violins a lot. Makeup and hairstyling, we have the nominees are Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. I remember with makeup and hairstyling, when they released the short list for them a couple months ago, Barbie wasn't on there, and a lot of people were like right away, how was Barbie not on the short list for makeup and hairstyling? Like, did you see the makeup and hairstyling on that movie? So that was kind of shocking-ish, and of course they're not nominated because they weren't on the short list. I don't know who will end up winning here. I think the makeup and hairstyling, they've been giving it to kind of like, I'm pretty sure last year the makeup and hairstyling team was the people from The Whale. So I think they're kind of like, I guess you have to look outside of just makeup, but like prosthetics and things like that. I guess it's kind of how they're putting it in together. I could be wrong about the category, but I believe that was the category that they won. So to win here, I don't know. I don't really necessarily, I'm trying to think about what was going on. I think maybe Maestro could maybe win just because they had all those prosthetics for Bradley and even his hair and things like that. But I don't know. I think maybe Maestro probably could come out, but I know Golda had a lot of prosthetics as well, and I haven't seen Society of the Snow yet. International feature film, we have Il Capitano from Italy, Perfect Days from Japan, Society of the Snow from Spain, The Teacher's Lounge from Germany, and The Zone of Interest, United Kingdom. I've only seen The Zone of Interest so far. I think The Zone of Interest will end up winning just because it has like, I think at least 5-6 nominations. And I can see that one coming out on top. I was surprised that Anatomy of a Fall was not nominated in this category. But hey, what can you do? Or even, well, I guess they don't consider Past Lives necessarily international because it's technically a United States film, but could have maybe slotted in as well. Who knows? Film editing, Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I don't know here. I think maybe Oppenheimer, just because of everything going on, probably could be the winner. But I'm not too certain on this. It could go to anyone. All these excellent films. Documentary short film. I haven't seen any of these either, but a lot of these sound interesting. The ABCs of Book Banning, The Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, and Nai Nai and Waipo. All sound good. I've heard about a couple of them. Documentary feature film, Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Marypool. Haven't seen any of those either, but hopefully I get to see them soon. Costume design, Jacqueline Durand from Barbie. She previously won for Little Women. I think that's going to be the winner for this category, but let's read the rest of the nominees. Killers of the Flower Moon, Jacqueline West, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I think Barbie's going to come out with the win for costume design. Cinematography, El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I think Hoyt van Hoytema from Oppenheimer is going to win cinematography. That's what I feel like is going to end up happening. The person who did the cinematography for Barbie also did Killers of the Flower Moon, but they're nominated for Killers of the Flower Moon, not for Barbie. So 2 big films that year. Awesome for Rodrigo. Animated feature film, we have The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think that Spider-Verse is probably going to win there. Again, just because I've just heard so many things. I didn't see the Mario movie, but I remember kind of being, when I saw the nominations this morning, I thought I would maybe get nominated just because it's been getting nominations all over the place, but hey, what can you do? Best Director, or just directing, Anatomy of a Fall, Justine Triet, Killers of the Flower Moon, Scorsese, Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan, Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos, and The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer. Now, this category is always so tough. Talk about snubs. So many snubs here. First, I'm not surprised she didn't get in, but I was hopeful that Celine Song from Past Lives would get a nomination for directing. She did not, unfortunately. But the big surprise that I'm sure many of you have seen is that Greta Gerwig did not receive a directing nomination. She was nominated for her writing the Barbie script, but nothing for directing the film, which I've seen so many things about it, and I'll read something else about it from Ryan Gosling. He put out something about that and another snub that we'll go over. So, and actually I just was curious. I was like, has there ever been a year where we've had 2 female directors nominated for directing at the same Oscars? There's only happened once. It's happened at the 2021 Oscars, and that was for the two women there were Chloe Zhao from Nomadland and Emerald Fennell from Promising Young Woman. That year, Chloe Zhao ended up winning Best Director, but that's been the only year in almost 90 years of history that there has been two women nominated for directing in the same year of the Oscars, which is just alarming. I think there's only been, I could have it wrong, but I believe there's only been 3 women who have ever won directing Oscar, which is crazy, and there's still a lot more to do. So that was such a shock, because how do you direct the biggest movie of the year, the biggest film directed by a woman, so many things, so impactful, it's gotten so many nominations, but you don't nominate the director, which is just crazy to me. Obviously, not saying she should be directed just because she's a woman and because she directed the biggest movie ever from a female filmmaker, but still, I just can't believe that she was not nominated. I was looking at it, and I was happy to see Justine Triet in there and things like that, but I was just like, Greta Gerwig, what's going on? So that was very disappointing today to see. Getting to disappointment, let's go to a couple other, we're going to some acting categories now. So, actress in a supporting role, Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, America Ferrera, Barbie, Jodie Foster, Nyad, and Divine Joy Randolph, The Holdovers. Before I even finish reading all of these, out of the 20 acting nominees, half of them, a full 10 of them, are all first-time nominees, which is really cool. I believe last year, out of the 20 nominees, it was like 15 or 16 were all newbies, which I think is really awesome, where you can kind of see like fresh new blood, I guess, coming into the Academy, getting recognition for their acting. Really great. So for actress, I think Divine Joy Randolph for Holdovers is gonna end up winning. She's been winning up and down everywhere, and she was fantastic in The Holdovers. The surprise for me was America Ferrera for Barbie. She hasn't been getting nominations pretty much anywhere, so when I heard her name rung out, I was like, oh wow, she got nominated, so that's awesome. Really happy for her. I think her monologue in Barbie has been, people have been talking about all up and down the place, but she hasn't been nominated though for many of these awards, so it was nice to see her kind of get in there, and she's a first time nominee as well, so just really excellent. I'm happy for her. Actor in supporting role, we have Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction, a surprise, but he was so good in that movie, and really happy that he was nominated. We have Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling, Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. Not surprised at this list at all. I guess I said surprised that Sterling K. Brown, but after Sterling K. Brown got the SAG Screen Actors Guild nomination, I said to myself, okay, well, he probably will maybe slide into the Oscars, but we'll see and keep our fingers crossed. He was excellent in American Fiction. It's one of my favorite films of the year. Charles Melton was not nominated for May December. No, actually, actors were nominated for May December, which was surprising to me. Charles Melton has been getting snubbed a lot of places, though, but he, for me, gave one of the best supporting performances I've seen from an actor this year, and I was so pulling for him, but he didn't get in there, which was unfortunate. I think the winner here will be Robert Downey Jr. He's been winning, similar to Divine. He's been winning everywhere, and he's just been excellent. He was so excellent in that movie. Now we'll get to actor in the leading role: Bradley Cooper, Maestro, Coleman Domingo, Rustin, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction. I'm not surprised at this list. I didn't necessarily want Bradley Cooper in there. I didn't necessarily think that Maestro's not really one of my favorites. I think Carey Mulligan was great in it, and she was the best part of the movie for me, but it wasn't really for me, and it just wasn't. I didn't think it was that great to have scored this many nominations, but Bradley Cooper got another nomination, and good for him. Some snubs in there, like Leonardo DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon, not there. Zac Efron for The Iron Claw, not there. I know a lot of people have been trying to campaign for The Iron Claw and Zac Efron specifically to get something, but didn't get a chance to slot in. But I think the winner here is between Cillian and Paul Giamatti, but I kind of think Cillian is going to win out just because I think Oppenheimer's going to win so many awards, and I think Cillian Murphy's going to kind of be a part of that. He was excellent. First time nominee as well, which is really fun. We have actress in a leading role now, so there's some controversy here as well on the Barbie thing. But we have Annette Bening, Nyad, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller, Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan, Maestro, and Emma Stone, Poor Things. I haven't seen Nyad. I was kind of resistant to seeing it. I just didn't really care to see it. But I said to myself, well, if they get like an acting nomination and things like that, then I probably will go see it, because I usually like to watch every movie that's nominated for acting and also like Best Picture and things like that. So I'm gonna see Nyad. I believe it's on Netflix. So both Annette Bening and Jodie Foster were nominated for supporting and leading, respectively. Sandra Hüller, I was so happy for Anatomy of a Fall that she got in there. I wasn't sure if she would break through, but Anatomy of a Fall has collected several nominations, and she's in there, and she's excellent. She's also in Zone of Interest in a supporting role, and she great thing she's been in this year. For a while, I thought Lily Gladstone kind of had the Oscars shirt up. She actually is the first Native American woman to be nominated for Best Actress ever, which is one of those things where you're surprised to hear that, but also not, considering the history of the Academy. But for a while, I thought Lily Gladstone was going to be the winner. Like, I saw Killers of the Flower Moon, I heard all the buzz about her. I said, she's probably going to be the one to be the winner. And they were doing things, showing things everywhere, saying, you know, she probably would take it home. But then I saw Emma Stone in Poor Things. And I saw it, and I knew, like, oh, wow, this is incredible. But then when I was going online, seeing people talk about stuff and continuing to, like, praise her and think about some of the things that I was thinking about, I was like, yeah, I think she's probably going to end up winning the Oscar again for Best Actress. She's just out of this world. And I just saw the movie again recently, like a week and a half ago or so. And again, I'm just, like, floored by it. She's just insane. Both Lily and her won the Golden Globe, but the thing that worked with Golden Globes is they split drama and then musical or comedy. So I kind of predicted that, but then Emma won the Critics' Choice Award. Another thing there too is the BAFTA nominations came out the other day, and Lily Gladstone was not nominated, which was kind of a shock for a lot of people, but Emma Stone was, and I believe Emma Stone will win there. And I think she might win the SAG as well, but we'll see how SAG goes. So yeah, that's what I think is going to win there. Another person I really hoped would get in was Greta Lee from Past Lives. Past Lives is one of my favorite films of the year, and I really was hoping that she would get a nomination for acting. Did not, unfortunately. But hey, I guess we move. But before I even move off this section, is Margot Robbie not nominated for actress in a leading role. Big shock. I remember when they were reading the names, I was taking it in. I was driving, actually, when I just had them playing and I was listening to it. And I said to my sister, who was with me, I said, did they say, is Margot nominated? Like, what? I missed it. I don't remember. And I backed it up right after they finished, and I didn't see Margot's name. And I was like, wait, Margot Robbie didn't get nominated? And this is the thing for me. The moment they said America Ferrera's name nominated for supporting actress, I said, oh, okay, well then Margot Robbie surely going to get nominated then, because America hasn't been getting anything. Certainly they're going to nominate Margot Robbie. But I was sure, I was like, she'll be nominated then. If America's nominated, then they're gonna nominate Margot too. And I knew it was like a very contentious race, but no nomination for Margot Robbie, which is just like, what? She's Barbie. How do you nominate the Ken and then even the real life human, I guess, played by America Ferrera, but you don't nominate Barbie? What's going on? That was crazy to me. And speaking of that, about that and also the Greta Gerwig snub, Ryan Gosling, who plays Ken in the movie, one of the Kens, I guess, he released a statement just a little bit ago, about an hour ago by the time I record this, talking about the snubs from his colleagues. I'm going to just read it because I think it's very pertinent. So this is what Ryan Gosling said and put out a little bit ago. I'm extremely honored to be nominated by my colleagues, alongside such remarkable artists in a year of so many great films, and I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm also incredibly honored and proud that it's for portraying a plastic doll named Ken. But there is no Ken without Barbie, and there is no Barbie movie without Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie, the two most responsible for this history-making, globally celebrated film. No recognition would be possible for anyone on this film without their talent, grit, and genius. To say that I'm disappointed that they are not nominated in their respective categories would be an understatement. Against all odds, with nothing but a couple of soulless, scantily clad, and thankfully crotchless dolls, they made us laugh, they broke our hearts, and they pushed the culture and they made history. Their work should be recognized along with the many other very deserving nominees. Having said that, I am so happy for America Ferrera and the other incredible artists who contributed their talents to making this such a groundbreaking film, Ryan Gosling Barbie. So we put that out because, like I said, there's been a lot of discussion over the just couple 12 hours the nominations have been out about those two not being nominated for director and for actress. They were nominated in other realms. I'm going to read Best Picture off in a minute, and Marco's nominated there as a producer. But very, very, people were saying it's kind of on the nose that they nominate the Ken, but they'll nominate the Barbie in a movie kind of about patriarchy and some that kind of stuff. And I saw this, someone put up a old video of Dame Emma Thompson saying something like, well, the Academy voters are mostly old white men, so we kind of have to, wait for them to pass on, or I don't know what we're going to do. Or it was kind of like, she kind of said it in like a funny way, but I know it's very true. Like that really is the group who's voting for this. So, I mean, what can you do? Finally, we have Best Picture. So all these movies, excellent. Again, other than Maestro. Maestro's still good. I mean, we don't harp on Maestro too much, but it just wasn't my favorite. But it's still good, I guess. So the Best Picture nominations, we have American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Awesome. Something I want to say with this as well. Emma Stone was a producer on Poor Things, and she also was nominated for Best Actress. So she got two nominations for Best Picture and Best Actress. She is only the second woman to be nominated for both Best Actress and Best Picture in the same year at the Oscars. The first one, going back to the 2021 Oscars, was Frances McDormand for Nomadland. She ended up winning both those Oscars, Best Picture and Best Actress. But only the second woman to ever have that in the same year, which here's to more women producing their own stuff. I think that's really awesome. And Margot Robbie could have been another one as well to get in there in terms of Best Picture and Best Actress nominations. But obviously, as we know, she was not nominated for Best Actress. So just Emma Stone and Frances McDormand are the only two we have to have kind of make those feats. I think the winner here for Best Picture, I think it's gonna be tough. Like I said, all these movies this year, just so many great movies. I feel we're just getting better and better and better. But I think Oppenheimer is gonna end up winning. Oppenheimer won at the Globe so far. Other Poor Things won the other side of it. But I think it's gonna end up being Oppenheimer. I just predict Oppenheimer swooping a bunch of awards in the next couple weeks here. But we will see. March 10th is the ceremony. It's about 6 weeks away, and we're looking forward to it. It's an exciting time. Film season is one of my most favorite times. It has been for several years, but especially more here recently, as I've really been digging into watching a lot more films, and especially films that maybe don't get as much, publicity and things like that. Which, speaking of, a couple films that weren't nominated at all, or not nominated in like big ways, that I just thought were excellent. Two that come to mind immediately are All of Us Strangers from Andrew Haigh. I think that movie was excellent. If you can see that movie, please go see it. It's so good and so tender and so relatable on so many different levels. And then also Origin from Ava DuVernay. I saw both of those films just about one last week and another one about 2.5 some weeks ago. Both of those are excellent. Origin for me is one of the best films I've seen in my entire life, honestly, and I'm still processing it and going through it. I've ordered the book that it's based on to kind of like dig in more, but those are two films where I would have so liked to see them get some recognition. Origin for Best Picture, and then maybe even All of Us Strangers for that, and some acting nominations there as well. But didn't get to crack in, which is unfortunate. But overall, I think a lot of great nominees, a lot of snubs, which sucks when you think about it, and you hope better for, you hope that people can get in who you would think are deserving. But I'm not the one casting all the votes, so there's only so much we can do. I'm really looking forward to the Oscars. I'm looking forward to the rest of these award seasons. There's like a whole kind of schedule. I saw someone put up a whole schedule. It's like your film fan is like going to be annoying for the next like couple weeks because we have so many things happening, and it's really, really fun to see. And there's still so many great movies coming out or things you can kind of rewatch, and it's a very exciting time. And I think movies are just awesome. So I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the Oscar nominations? Do you think there are any snubs? Do you think that there's surprises? You know, who do you think is going to win in each category, or like the big categories? Tell me. I want to hear your thoughts. Like, start a conversation in the comments. I'm really interested to hear other people's ideas. Have you seen a lot of these movies? What movies have you not seen that you're interested in? I don't know, just throw anything out and let's just like chat below. I'll be around. Thanks for listening to me kind of talk about all this for a little bit. And I hope to see you in the comments and in my next video. Bye. Thanks for watching.